Hey guys, Kenny Pugh here, your virtual COO. I'm reaching out to you today because I'm currently working on a project for one of my clients, and I actually thought this information could be of benefit to a number of you who are out there as business owners, entrepreneurs, etc. And so I wanted to share this information because a number of people don't have a structured process in place for attracting and acquiring new clients, and that is something that is the lifeline of all businesses. If you don't have leads, then you don't really have a business, because ultimately you're going to be scrapping, trying to figure out how to get the next person to press the purchase button on the things that you are putting out there. But if you don't have a systemized way of making that happen, then you might as well just be shooting in the dark and trying to build your business. And so we don't want that to be the case. We want you to make sure that you are positioned and poised to have a successful business. And so how can you do that? It's about making sure that you have a systemized, planned way of going out, attracting clients, and taking them through a structured process to get them the information that they need so that they can have enough information to determine whether or not they want to buy from you or work with you. And so with that being the case, the example that I want to share with you today is most applicable to those who are practicing from a professional services perspective. And so you may be asking yourself, well, what does that mean? Well, if you are a professional services provider, like an accountant, like a coach, like a consultant, like an attorney, like a dentist, like a doctor, like a financial advisor, like an engineer, like an architect, if you're a psychologist, if you are someone who works with people and need a steady flow of people to work with, then you probably fall under this professional services category. And with that being the case, the information that I'm going to share with you very quickly, because I'm not going to string it out. If I have information, I want to share it with you and not take you through a bunch of loops. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at what I want to share with you today. So the first thing I want to take you to is how, as I'm working with a client to implement this particular process, I typically map out how we want this thing to look. And so I can do the same for you. So what does that mean? That means, how do we want the process flow of your customer experience to be in place such that they have an opportunity to experience you as the business owner and understand that you have a solution to a problem that they have? The reality is this: if you have the ability to solve someone's problem, then more than likely, if the problem is big enough, that they're going to give you an opportunity to work with them. So how do we do that? Well, you generate leads by driving traffic. Well, where do you drive traffic from? I'm glad you asked. You can drive traffic from a bunch of different sources, but for this particular example, I'm using Facebook ads, I'm looking at Instagram ads, and I'm also looking at LinkedIn as the source to pull or attract traffic so that I can drive it to a central location to take it through the process that I ultimately want to have established for. So you take the advertisements, the posts that you put on the various social media networks, and you drive them to a central point. What is that central point? Well, I'm glad you asked. That central point is known as an opt-in page, which you see here where my cursor is. An opt-in page is a place where you offer to provide someone something in exchange for their information. So you can offer them a free training, a free webinar. You can offer them a free ebook, a free video series training, a free PDF guide on some how-to process that you have documented. But you can take them through that process, or you can offer that to them so that they can go through the process in exchange for their name and email address, which will be used to help build up your email list. And so why is that important? A, because people are more likely to purchase from you once they have the familiarity in place. And so taking a look at trying to establish that rapport or build or generate that rapport with that person is very key in order to try to drive them to do business with you. So this opt-in page can be one of a number of things. It can be, like I said, a PDF, ebook, a video series, webinar training, etc. But you have them exchange that request for their name and their email address, and then immediately, for this particular example, there are a number of examples that you can kind of take them through from a path perspective. But for this particular example, I'm going to offer them 5 steps to improve their life, and it's going to be delivered by way of a training. So as soon as they put in their information and they hit request information now or send me my training video. As soon as they hit that button on that opt-in page, they'll be taken to this page right here, which is a content page. And on that content page, I'm going to have a video, and then I'm going to have a call to action underneath it. Nothing extravagant, nothing super duper fancy, but something that can be put in place so that when they're watching the training and you're telling them all this wonderful information at the end, when you tell them, hey, we can now work together, request additional information, and they have a call to action listed right underneath the video, it doesn't give a lot of loopholes for trying to fall out of the process. And so with that being the case, typically people are going to take action or they don't. Well, coming out of this opt-in page, sometimes people may have distractions. They might be at work, their kids might come in, and they're unable to watch this particular content page. Well, that's okay, because in parallel, I'm going to send them an email with a link that takes them back to this training page so that they can watch the video. So you're kind of covering your bases there. It gives you opportunity to connect with them right now, because they saw your ad, they saw your post, they want information right now. So if you're able to give them the information by way of video training or whatever the case may be, why not offer it to them right then when they are engaged and that lead is a lot warmer. And so you take them there. If they don't watch it, they'll have an email that will show up in their inbox that will take them through the process of going back to this page and watching the video. Well, what happens after they watch the video? Well, typically it has a call to action. For most professional service companies that I work with, I typically work with consultants and coaches. They typically want to get more information about the prospect, the person that they're looking to work with or that they're hoping to work with. And so you want to weed out people that are like tire kickers, people that are just trying to get free information from you or don't have the resources to work with you. So you try to have like a brief application or a form with a set of questions that you can go through with them, have them answer it. If people are not serious, a lot of times they will abort the process, but that keeps the headache away from you, which is great. So someone who's dedicated enough to fill and complete this application, after they submit that application, they're going to be taken to a calendar to set up time to speak with you. I'm a big fan of, unless you have something that's self-explanatory, low ticket offer where you can send them directly to a content page that they can purchase from. I like to send them to a calendar so that they can request an appointment, a discovery session, a strategy session, whatever the case may be, on your calendar so that you can talk about how you can assist them working through the things that they have an issue with, the problems that you're able to solve for them, and then ultimately close them on that telephone call. Because at the end of the day, if someone is in pain, and you have the solution to their pain, there's not a whole lot of, oh, I need to think about this, or let me go talk to that person. If that's the case, then they're not necessarily really serious at that time about solving their problem. So hopefully that makes sense to you, because once you get someone on the phone and you're able to demonstrate that you can solve their problem, you have a structured way to bring peace to chaos in their life, then ultimately the ball is in their court to say, am I enough pain to make this purchase or am I not? And if they're not, that's fine. But once again, it keeps you from having to deal with an extended headache of going back and forth and sending 15 different emails to try to get them to purchase, etc. You want to position it so that, hey, if they're ready to go, let's get them started. I don't need to go through 15 different emails if I know right now you're the person I want to work with. So hopefully that makes sense. I try to get people to a place where they can make a decision sooner rather than later. And if not, then yes, we will put them in a nurturing sequence where they receive information on an ongoing basis, but we have at least gone down the path of trying to demonstrate what you know as a client, and then ultimately leaving the ball in their corner or challenging or encouraging them to make that purchase and make the commitment to solve the pain that they're currently going through. So getting on your calendar, having that phone call, at the end of that phone call, the call to action is, hey, I think we're a good fit to work together. I would love to get you enrolled in my program. And if that's the case, let's get started today. And you can take down a deposit, you can take down the full price, whatever the case may be. But that's a beautiful thing to experience when you have the ability to get someone to a position where they say, yeah, I want to work with you. This is exactly what I need and what I want. And so a lot of times you can answer their questions, you can ease their mind when you have those consultations. And so that's why I try to take professional services individuals and whatnot through this process to get to a place where you have that phone call with them. If they decide to purchase, then hey, we take them to a place. We'll either send them a link or we collect the information over the phone so that we can start and initiate that process. Once again, if they say yes, we'll take them to the form. If they say, hey, I need a day or two to think about it, then we will send out an email or a series of emails that will try to, once again, address the objections that they may be going through and positioning you once again as the authority. So that's the process. And if they fall out of this, then we just put them in a nurturing sequence, which means we add them to an email list where they receive information, but we have at least taken them through this initial process to determine whether or not they are in a position to make the decision to purchase today. So hopefully that makes sense. This will be something that can be tweaked and customized depending on the type of company and business that you have. But for a lot of coaches and consultants, this process works very well. So I showed you that map just because that's how we get it on paper. But let me go ahead and take you to a place where you can see one live and in action. So let's look at one that I created for my wife. My wife is a certified life coach trainer. So she trains life coaches so that they can start their businesses and transform the lives of the people that they work with. And so we created this whole process for her that's similar to the one that I just showed you, but it starts with an opt-in page, which I'm currently pulling up. So hopefully we can get this to cooperate. And we would do the same for you. You'll create an opt-in page that is very simple. She's offering a free training to those who have an interest in becoming a certified life coach. And so over here, you see her picture. Over on the left-hand side, we see start a profitable and purposeful life coach business, and then kind of a call to action. If you want that information, I want you to register now. There's no sending them to a website where there's a menu bar with a bunch of different options at the top. On an opt-in page, you typically want a visitor to perform one action. In this case, we want them to register for a free training that my wife has to offer. And once they do that, they can click register now, and it's going to take them to a place where they put in their name and their email address, and they'll click submit. Boom. It's going to take them to what is known as a training or the content page as I listed it on the mapping diagram. So let me take you to what that page looks like, because I think that'll be helpful as well. And so on the life coach training video, that page that we created or that I created for her, it takes the visitor, once they submit their name and their email address, boom, in an instant, as soon as they hit submit or register now, it takes them to this page where they have an opportunity to watch the training. And so imagine that we can be out and about, we can be on the beach, we can be working with our clients or whatever the case may be, and someone can be going through this process without my wife having to kind of navigate or guide them. We've created a structured, systemized process so that she can work with changing her clients' lives and at the same time have this in place to try to attract more people and to get them to commit, etc. So on this one, it just has the training video, as I showed you in the process mapping that I showed you at the beginning. And it has a video that talks about how to start a profitable and purposeful life coaching business. And underneath it, become a certified life coach and kickstart a new career in less than 10 weeks, and click here to apply. So that click here to apply will take them to a place where they have to answer a set of questions, and then it will allow them to then go into a place where they can schedule time on her calendar. So that's pretty slick. And so I think that's a very powerful thing, and this could work very well for you as well. So after they have clicked to apply, they've gone and they set up the, requested information, etc. That is great. That's fine and dandy to have the conversation as part of that scheduled call. And then if they decide not to do anything, if they decide to get to a place where they are having to think about it, we'll send them some follow-up emails. We'll also take them to a place where they can see our sales page that once again will try to address a lot of the misconceptions, a lot of the myths that are out there, etc. And so I want to show you what our sales page looks like. And you've probably seen these types of pages on other different accounts, etc. So with that being the case, here's what her sales page looks like. And this is one that, once again, could be created for you and your business. If you're trying to automate this thing so that you have people coming into your appointments and registering for time on your calendar or your sales team calendar, and creating a steady flow of opportunities there. So it's important for you to kind of keep that in mind, and then also taking a look at how you can streamline it so that you don't have to be present for everything. So look at this particular sales page. It takes a look at becoming a coach in only 10 weeks, sign up for the next class, and it's pretty powerful. It allows, once again, my wife to continue to communicate with these leads, and then positioning her as the authority, addressing the questions that may come up, and really taking them through an entire process, an introduction to her, a testimonial, all of those different things in place, which is pretty cool. And so with that being the case, it then takes them to the place where they can choose their level, the price associated with their investment associated with it, and ultimately, setting up time to check out. And so this is all done on autopilot, and this can be done on autopilot for you too. And so I'm excited that we have this in place. I have it for my own individual businesses as well, and for the services that I offer. And then this could be a very good benefit to you as well. So excited about sharing this information with you. Hopefully this is something that you could see or visualize yourself benefiting from as well. But at the same time, you have to be willing to take that step. So I want to encourage you to inbox me, DM me, whatever the case may be. If you're interested in scheduling time to work with me, I'm not going to take you through my official funnel because you're watching this video right now, but I will send you a link for us to set up time on my calendar to discuss how this could potentially work for you and your business. And hopefully this is something that will take your business to the next level. So without further ado, let's go ahead and quit for the day as far as this is concerned. And once again, my name is Kenny Pugh. I'm a virtual COO. I help your businesses make more money, and I help create a greater sense of freedom for you and your family. And so if I can help make your life easier in any way, that is my goal, that is my aim, and that is what my calling is. And so I look forward to sharing with you soon. And otherwise, once again, email me, or inbox me, or DM me, and we'll go ahead and get something set up on my calendar to discuss your individual needs and to see if this is something that can work for you. Once